everyone. I am Jyotsna Chaubey. I am faculty at Raipur Institute of Technology, Chhattisgarh Swami Vivekanand Technical University. It's pleasure to welcome you all in SWAM course on microbial technology. In our previous lecture, we have discussed about post-transcriptional regulation. It is the control of gene expression at the RNA level. It occurs once the RNA polymerase has been attached to the gene's promoter and is synthesizing the nucleotide sequence. Therefore, as the name indicates, it occurs between the transcription phase and the translation phase of the gene expression. These controls are critical for regulation of many genes across human tissues. It also plays a big role in cell physiology, being implicated in pathologies such as cancer and neurodegenerative disease. Post-transcriptional control can occur at any stage after transcription, including RNA splicing, nuclear settling and RNA stability. Once RNA is transcribed, it must be processed to create a mature RNA that is ready to be translated. These involves the removal of introns that do not code for protein. Spliceosome binds to the signal that mark the exon or intron border to remove the introns and ligate the exon together. Once this occurs, the RNA is mature and can be translated. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about translational regulation in eukaryotes. Translational regulation refers to the control of the level of protein synthesized from its mRNA. This regulation is vastly important to the cellular response to stress, growth cues and differentiation. In comparison to the transcriptional regulation, it results in much more immediate cellular adjustment through direct regulation of protein concentration. The corresponding mechanisms are primarily targeted on the control of ribosome recruitment on the initiation codon, but can also involve modulation of peptide elongation, termination of protein synthesis or ribosome biogenesis. While these general concepts are widely conserved, some of the finer details in this sort of regulation have been proven to differ between prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms. The content of present lecture is introduction, component of translation which include mRNA template, ribosome, transfer RNA, enzymes, codons, starting amino acid. Steps of prokaryotic translation which includes activation of amino acid, initiation, elongation, termination, post-translational modification. The process by which proteins are produced with amino acid sequences is specified by the sequence of codons in messenger RNA is called translation. Translation is the first stage of protein biosynthesis. Translation occurs in cytoplasm where the ribosomes are located. Ribosomes are made of small and large unit which surrounds the mRNA. In prokaryotic translation, 70S ribosomes with 30S and 50S subunits are used. The mRNA is synthesized from DNA only. In prokaryotes, there are several initiation and termination sites. Component of translation: mRNA template, ribosome, transfer RNA, factors involved, enzyme involved, codons involved, starting amino acid. mRNA template: it is decoded to produce a specific polypeptide chain. It reads in 5 days, 3 days direction. Many types of transcribed RNA not necessarily translated into an amino acid sequence. Ribosome is a complex macromolecule compound of catalytic rRNA and structural rRNA as well as many distinct polypeptides. Mature ribosomal RNA make up approximately 50% of each ribosome. Prokaryotes have 70S ribosome, whereas eukaryote has 80S ribosome in the cytoplasm and rough endoplasmic reticulum and 70S ribosome in mitochondria and chloroplast. Ribosome dissociate into large and small subunit when they are not synthesizing protein and reassociate during the initiation of translation. The prokaryotic 70S ribosomes are composed of 30S subunit and 50S subunit. The 30S ribosomal subunit is further made up of 16S ribosomal RNA and 21 different protein, while the 50S subunit is made up of 23S ribosomal RNA, 5S ribosomal RNA and 34 different proteins. Each mRNA molecule is simultaneously translated by many ribosomes, all synthesizing protein in the same direction, reading the mRNA from 5 days to 3 days and synthesizing the polypeptide from the N terminus to the C terminus. The complete structure containing an mRNA with multiple associated ribosome is called polyribosome or polysome. In both bacteria and archaea, before transcriptional termination occurs, each protein coding transcript is already being used to begin synthesis of numerous copies of encoded polypeptide, because the process of transcription and translation can occur concurrently, forming polyribosomes. The reason why transcription and translation can occur simultaneously is because both these processes occurs at the same 5 days to 3 days direction. They both occur in the cytoplasm of the cell, and because the RNA transcript is not processed once it is transcribed. These allows the prokaryotic cells to respond to an environmental signal requiring new protein very quickly. In contrast, in eukaryotic cells, simultaneous transcription and translation is not possible. Although polyribosome also form in eukaryotes, they cannot do so until RNA synthesis is complete and the RNA molecule has been modified and transported out of the nucleus. They have several important functions in the protein synthesis process which are follows. They act as a site of protein synthesis. They recognize signal sequences that allows initiation of protein synthesis. They ensure accuracy of protein synthesis process by stabilizing the tRNA mRNA interaction. They are involved in enzymatically linking the amino acid in a polypeptide chain. They move along the mRNA molecule as they read through the mRNA in 5 days 3 days direction. Ribosomal site for protein translation. Each prokaryotic ribosome has 3 binding site for tRNA. The amino acyl tRNA binding site, that is A site, is where during elongation the incoming amino acyl tRNA binds. The peptidyl tRNA binding site, that is P site, is where the tRNA linked to the growing polypeptide chain is bound. The exit site or E site is a binding site for tRNA following its role in translation and prior to its release from the ribosome. All 3 sites A, P and E are formed by the ribosomal RNA molecule in the ribosome. Transfer RNA. Transfer RNA or tRNA are structural RNA molecule, and depending on the species, many different types of tRNA exist in the cytoplasm. Bacterial species typically have between 60 and 90 types, serving as a adapters. Each tRNA type binds to the specific codon on the mRNA template and add the corresponding amino acid to the polypeptide chain. Therefore, tRNA are the molecules that actually translate the language of RNA into the language of protein. As the adapter molecule of translation, it is surprising that tRNA can fit so much specificity into such a small package. The tRNA molecule interacts with 3 factors, that is amino acyl tRNA synthase, ribosome and mRNA. Mature transfer RNA take on a 3-dimensional structure when complementary bases exposed in the single stranded RNA molecule hydrogen bond with each other. This shape position the amino acid binding site called the CCA amino acid, cytosine adenine amino acid binding site, and which is cytosine adenine sequence at the 3 days end of the tRNA and the anticodon at the other end. The anticodon is a 3 nucleotide sequence that bonds with an mRNA codon through complementary base pairing. An amino acid is added to the end of the tRNA molecule through the process of tRNA charging, during which each tRNA molecule is linked to its correct or cognate amino acid by group of enzymes called amino acyl tRNA synthase. At least one type of amino acyl tRNA synthetase exists for each of the 20 amino acid. During these processes, amino acid is first activated by the addition of adenosine monophosphate and then transferred to the tRNA, making it a charged tRNA, and AMP is released. Enzymes. There are two types of enzymes are involved in translation. One is amino-acyl tRNA synthetase that catalyzes attachment of tRNA molecule to its corresponding amino acid. 20 different amino-acyl tRNA synthetase, each specific for one amino acid molecule, are required for the catalytic reaction. The attachment of amino acid charge the tRNA molecule as it attaches to the amino acid to the carboxyl terminal end of the amino acid molecule. The next enzyme is peptidyl transferase catalase. Peptide bond formation between the amino acid bonded by the corresponding tRNA to the ribosomal P site and A site, thus allowing the sequential transfer of amino acid to the growing chain. Genetic code. Genes is defined as a series of bases that code for functional protein molecule. It defines the correlation between the nucleotide sequence of the gene and the corresponding amino acid sequence of the polypeptide molecule as guided by the gene sequence. In other words, a set of 3 bases form one codon or a one genetic code and specifies for one of the 20 amino acid. The genetic code is the set of rules used by living cell to translate information encoded within the genetic material into protein. At least 3 bases are required to encode for each amino acid. The 4 nucleotide of DNA, that is adenosine, thymine, guanine and cytosine in a group of 2 can make 42 equals to 16 different combinations which are insufficient to code for total of 20 amino acid. However, if the nucleotide form a group of 3, then it can generate 64 different combinations which are more than the number of amino acid. Thus, each codon is made up of sequence of 3 nucleotides. Properties of genetic code. Genetic code is triplet. As explained earlier, singlet and doublet codons are not sufficient to code all 20 amino acid. Therefore, genetic code need to be at least triplet. Genetic code is a degenerate. This means that particular amino acid can be coded by more than one triplet codon. The degeneracy of genetic code is varying with some amino acid like methionine encoded by only one codon, that is AUG. Amino acid lysine having two-fold degeneracy, that is encoded by codon AAA and AAG. And amino acid proline has 4-fold degeneracy, that is encoded by codon CCU, CCC, CCA and CCG. Genetic code is non-overlapping. Non-overlapping means that the same base is not shared between 2 adjacent codon. Because of the overlapping codon, 3 codons are formed from the 7 bases and 4 codons formed from the 6 bases. However, this is never the case and only 2 codons can be formed out of 6 base, which means that the genetic code is not non-overlapping. Genetic code is commaless or non-punctuating, which means that no bases are dedicated to indicate the end of one codon and beginning of the next codon. In other words, after one amino acid is coded by first 3 bases in a mRNA sequence, the next amino acid is automatically encoded by next 3 bases on the mRNA. Genetic code is non-ambiguous. In ambiguous code, the same codon codes for more than one amino acid, but this is never the case that one codon always codes for single amino acid or it is non-ambiguous. For example, codon AUG always code for amino acid methionine. Genetic code is universal. Universality of genetic code means that in all living system, a particular genetic code will always code for the same amino acid. For example, codon AAG codes for lysine in plants, animals as well as in microbes. Polarity. The genetic code has polarity and it always reads in 5 days, 3 days direction. If the code would have been read in both direction, that it would mean that 2 different proteins would be synthesized, because the codon will be read in both direction, that is 5 days to 3 days and 3 days to 5 days. Chain initiation codon. The triplet codon 5 days AUG, 3 days encodes for the initiation codon from where a new polypeptide synthesis begins. Also, the initiating AUG codon codes for formulated methionine residue, while all the other internal AUG codon codes for unformulated methionine. There are also separate tRNA that acts as carrier for initiating formulated methionine and the internal methionine residues. Chain termination codon. The termination codon directs the release of nascent polypeptide chain synthesized by the ribosome. There are 3 codons UGA, UAA and UAG that function as a termination codon. Starting amino acid is N-formyl methionine. Moreover, there is a overlapping of transcription and translation. Steps of prokaryotic translation. It involves activation of amino acid, initiation of protein synthesis, elongation of protein synthesis and termination of protein synthesis. Activation of amino acid. Activation of amino acid takes place in cytosol. The activation of amino acid is catalyzed by their amino acyl tRNA synthetase. All the 20 amino acids are activated and bound to 3 days end of their specific tRNA in the presence of ATP and magnesium. The N-formulated methionine is chain initiating amino acid in bacteria, whereas methionine is a chain initiating amino acid in eukaryotes. Methionine is activated by methionine tRNA synthetase. For N-formyl methionine, 2 types of tRNA are used, that is tRNA MET and tRNA FMET. Similarly, all 20 amino acids are activated. The synthesis reaction occurs in 2 steps. The first step in the reaction of an amino acid and ATP to form amino acyl adenylate, also known as amino acyl AMP. In the second step, without leaving the enzyme, the amino acyl group of the amino acyl AMP is transferred to the 3 days end of the tRNA molecule to form amino acyl tRNA. Initiation of protein synthesis. The first codon translated in the all mRNA is start codon or initiation codon, that is AUG, which codes for methionine. 2 different tRNA are used for 2 types of AUG codon, that is tRNA FMET is used for the initiation codon and is called the initiator tRNA, whereas tRNA FMET is used for the internal AUG codon. In prokaryotes, the first amino acid of new protein is N-formyl methionine. Hence, the amino acid tRNA used in initiation is FMET tRNA FMET. A short sequence rich in purine called the Sain-Dalgarno sequence lies 5 days to the AUG initiation codon and it is complementary to the part of 16 as ribosomal RNA in small ribosomal subunit. Therefore, this is the binding site for the 30S ribosomal subunit, which then migrate in a 3 days direction along the mRNA unit. It encounters the AUG initiation codon. Initiation of protein synthesis requires protein called initiation factor. In prokaryotes, there are 3 initiation factors, that is IF1, IF2 and IF3. Because of the complexity of the process, the exact order of binding of these 3 initiation factors with FMET tRNA F is controversial. Initiation begins with the binding of initiation factor 1 and initiation factor 3 to the small 30S ribosomal subunit. Their role is to stop the 30S subunit binding to the 50S subunit in the absence of mRNA and FMET tRNA MET, which would result in the non-functional ribosome. The small subunit then binds to the mRNA via the Sain-Dalgarno sequence and moves 3 days along the mRNA unit. It locates the AUG initiation codon. The initiator tRNA charged with N-formyl methionine and in a complex with initiation factor 2 and GTP now binds. Initiation factor 3 is released. The first codon translated in all mRNA is the start codon or initiation codon. AUG, which codes for methionine. 2 different tRNA are used for the 2 types of AUG codon. tRNA FMET is used for the initiation codon and is called for initiator tRNA, whereas tRNA MET is used for the internal AUG codon. In prokaryote, the first amino acid of new protein is N-formyl methionine. Hence, the amino acyl tRNA used in initiation is FMET tRNA FMET. A short sequence rich in purine called a Shine-Dagler sequence lies 5 days to the AUG codon and is complementary to the part of 16 as ribosomal RNA in the small ribosomal subunit. Therefore, this is the binding site for the 30S ribosomal subunit, which then migrates in 3 days direction along the mRNA unit. It encounters the AUG initiation codon. Initiation of protein synthesis requires protein called initiation factor. In prokaryotes, 3 initiation factor IF1, IF2 and IF3 are essential. Because of the complexity of the process, the exact order of binding of IF1, IF2, IF3 and FMET tRNA is controversial. Elongation of protein synthesis. At the start of first round of elongation, the initiation codon AUG is positioned in the P site with FMET tRNA FMET bound to it via codon anticodon base pairing. The next codon in the mRNA is positioned in the A site. Elongation of the polypeptide chain occurs in 3 steps, that is amino acyl tRNA binding, peptide bond formation and translocation. Amino acyl tRNA binding. The corresponding amino acyl tRNA for the second codon binds to the A site via codon anticodon interaction. Binding of the amino acyl tRNA requires elongation factor, that is EFTU, and GTP, which binds as an amino acyl tRNA oblique EFTU oblique GTP complex. Following binding, the GTP is hydrolyzed and the elongation factor is released, now bound to GDP. Before the elongation factor molecule can catalyze the binding of another charged tRNA to the ribosome, it must be regenerated by the process involving another elongation factor, that is EFTS. This regeneration is called EFTU EFTS exchange cycle. First, EFTS bind to the EFTU elongation factor and displaces the GDP, then GTP binds to the EFTU and displaces EFTS. The EFTU GTP is now ready to take part in another round of elongation. Peptide bond formation. The second step is peptide bond formation, which is catalyzed by peptidyl transferase. In these reactions, the carboxyl end of the amino acid bonds to the tRNA in P site uncoupled from the tRNA and becomes joined by a peptide bond to the amino acid linked to the tRNA in the A site. Translocation. In the third step, a complex of elongation factor and GTP binds to the ribosome. 3 concentrated movements now occur, collectively called translocation. The deacylated tRNA moves from P site to the E site, the dipeptidyl tRNA in the A site moves to the P site and the ribosome moves along the mRNA in 5 days 3 days direction by 3 nucleotide to place the next codon in the A site. During the translocation events, GTP is hydrolyzed to GDP and inorganic phosphate and EFG is released ready to bind more GTP for another round of elongation. After translocation, the A site is empty and ready to receive the next amino acetyl tRNA. The A site and E site cannot be occupied simultaneously. Thus, the deacylated tRNA is released from the E site before the next amino acyl tRNA binds to the A site to start the new round of elongation. Elongation continues, adding one amino acid to the C terminal end of the growing polypeptide for each codon that is read, with the peptidyl tRNA moving back and forth from the P site to the A site as it grows. Termination of protein synthesis. This is the last phase of translation. Eventually, one of 3 termination codon, also called the stop codon, becomes positioned in the A site. These are UAG, UAA and UGA. Unlike other codon, prokaryotic cells do not contain amino acyl tRNA complementary. Stop codon, instead 1 or 2 release factor binds. Release factor 1 recognizes UAA and UAG, whereas release factor 2 recognizes UAA and UGA. A third release factor needed to assist release factor 1 or release factor 2 interacting with the ribosome. Thus, either release factor 1 and release factor 3 or release factor 2 and release factor 3 binds depending on the exact termination codon in the A site. Release factor 1 binds to or near the A site where release factor 3 GTP binds elsewhere on the ribosome. The release factor causes the peptidyl transferase activity to transfer the polypeptide to a water molecule instead of amino-acyl tRNA effectively cleaving the bond between the polypeptide and tRNA in the P site. The free polypeptide now leaves the ribosome, followed by the mRNA and free tRNA, and the ribosome dissociates into 30S and 50S subunit ready to start translation again. Summary of the lecture is translation regulation plays a crucial role in controlling the level of protein synthesized from mRNA. Translation regulation in prokaryote encompasses various stages including initiation, elongation and termination of protein synthesis. The main focus of translation regulation is on controlling ribosome recruitment to the initiation codon. Translational regulation primarily affects the initiation of translation. Various factors influences the rate of protein synthesis. In prokaryotes, translation and transcription are often coupled and the speed of protein synthesis is primarily determined by the speed of transcription. The structure and properties of mRNA play a significant role in regulating the speed of protein synthesis. Understanding these regulatory mechanisms provides insight into how gene expression is modulated at the translation level. In next lecture, we will be discussing about translational regulation in eukaryote, which is a complex process that involves precise control over initiation, elongation and termination of protein synthesis. Understanding these regulatory mechanisms is crucial for deciphering gene expression at the translation level. With these, I conclude my lecture. Thank you.